In section 3.5, we talked about how to find the x and the y intercepts and then graph them. If you look at my little diagram up at the top of the page, you'll notice that my y-axis, which is your vertical axis, and my x-axis, which is your horizontal axis, they are labeled. Now, my line is in this dark blue pen here. A y-intercept is where your line crosses the y-axis. So it would be that point on the line right there. Whereas your x-intercept is where your line intersects the x-axis, which is where I just put the dot there. When you graph your x and y intercepts, you only need those two dots, and then you can go ahead and connect the line together. In order to find the x-intercept, you look at your equation, you take the x term of that equation and set it equal to the opposite side. So my x term is 4x, and it's going to be set equal to 20. Whereas if you need to find your y-intercept, you take your y term, which is a positive 5y, and you set it equal to the opposite side. Now you go ahead and solve both equations. The top equation, we have to divide both sides by 4 to get that x equals 5. In the bottom equation, you're going to divide both sides by 5, and you get y equals 4. When you graph your x and y intercepts, you go to your x-axis because x is equal to 5, and you plot your dot. And then you go to your y-axis for your y-intercept, and y is equal to 4, so you plot your dot. From there, make sure you use your ruler to connect the two dots and extend your line all the way through the grid. If you look at example 3, you want to take your x term, which is a positive 2x, and set it equal to the opposite side. To find your y-intercept, you want to take your y term. Now, be very careful because that is an invisible negative 1y in front, and that's going to equal negative 4 as well. Now we're going to solve it. The x-intercept, we divide both sides by 2, and we get that x equals negative 2. The bottom equation for the y-intercept, we're going to divide both sides by negative 1 and get y equals 4. Go ahead to your x-intercept, or go to your x-axis and plot negative 2, and your y-axis and plot positive 4, and go ahead and connect those dots. Okay, once again, make sure you extend your line through the grid. On the back, if we look at number 5, we want to take our x term for the x-intercept and set it equal to negative 4. And you want to take your y term, which is a positive 1y, and set it equal to the opposite side. Once again, solve the one-step equation and get x equals negative 2. And solve the bottom equation, we could divide both sides by 1 to get y is equal to negative 4. On your y-axis, go down to negative 4. On your x-axis, go over to negative 2 and plot your dots and then connect them. Well, I'll do one more for you. I'll do number 7. So let's look at my x-intercept. So that's your x term equals your number, and your y-intercept is your y term equals your number. And for your x value, there's an invisible 1 in front, and so if we divide both sides by a positive 1, we still get that x is negative 2. And for your y-intercept, we're going to divide both by 2, and we get y is equal to negative 1. So let's plot both of those points, and we can connect the dots.